help you?
Hi, I am calling because I am wondering why, in the midst of last week, Arkansas farmers came out and said that they were struggling, they were going to go out of business. Today, an article came out about farmers right here in Pennsylvania struggling. I'm wondering why Mr. Thompson allowed $50,000, including some from the Department of Agriculture. I'm calling, as you know, he's the chair of the House Committee on Agriculture. He allowed their budget to go to huge banners on the side of buildings in our nation's capital with pictures of Kim Jong-un, straight out of North Korea. Why, as our farmers go out of business, is he allowing the budget for the Department of Agriculture to go to banners of Dear Leader? Does he want our farmers to go out of business?
Yeah, I can take a message for the congressman and pass it on.
Yeah, let him know he's a traitor to the farmers in this state. Talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. They're using our money that we earned to pay for giant banners on the side of buildings with the ugliest man in America's face on them, and letting our farmers go out of business in the meantime. Tell him he's a fascist and a traitor, and I hope he rots in prison when all is said and done. And you're going to rot in prison too, by the way. You're working for a fascist regime. Even the secretaries go to prison, so maybe you should get out of there.
Can I have your zip code?
No, you can't. Have a terrible day.
Hi, this is Lisa Murkowski, and thanks for calling my office in Washington, D.C.
Hi, Lisa. Me again. I'm calling about something different today. But while I'm here, I'll remind you that you're the absolute scum of the earth for voting the deciding vote in the big, beautiful bill. While saying you think it's a bad bill, you voted for it. That was so embarrassing. Anyways, I saw that last week you had another deciding vote, and it was a vote of whether or not we should protect pets. And unsurprisingly, you voted for Team Pet. You want child to be able to roam free. That is so disgusting, and I thought I couldn't think more lowly of you, but you never seem to let me down with your absolute abhorrent behavior. I hope you never have another day of peace in your life. I hope you can't go out in public ever again without getting the dirtiest stares from every person, and you're a protector. That's the most disgusting thing in the world. You're an absolute disgrace. And you will go down in Alaska's history as the worst senator of all time. Have a terrible day.
Hi, you reached Congressman Brian Mast. How can I help you?
Hi, I am wondering what Mr. Mast's plan is when the next Democratic administration gets into office and decides to declare that MAGA is a terrorist organization and then start taking all of our passports.
I have not heard anything regarding that specific scenario, but I can't take any comments or concerns you might have.
Yeah, my comment and concern is that he just sponsored HRES 5300, which gives the Secretary of State unilateral power to declare anyone they want a terrorist organization and then steal their passports from them. Is he too dumb to understand how that can affect us?
I understand your frustration.
It's not a frustration. It's not a frustration. I'm extremely angry. He's a fascist. So anyways, he has made it so incredibly easy to support Bernard Taylor because at this point, progressive Democrats are closer to conservative values than his fascist ass. I can't wait to see him lose. This is disgusting behavior. It's the most anti-American thing, and you should be ashamed for working for him. How dare he threaten to take we're just going to take anyone's passport we want. Does he think this is 1930s Germany? That is the least conservative proposal I have ever heard in my life. What the hell is he thinking? What's it? Gone. Tell me his propaganda. What's his thought behind this? Aside from working for Mr. Netanyahu, that's obvious where this is coming from. What does Mr. Netanyahu have on him? Is he on the list? Is that the issue? Why does he think this is a good idea? What's his statement?
If you could just verify your zip code for me.
I don't verify for fascists. I'm not giving a fascist anything. Why does he think this is a good idea?
Help you if you're not going to provide
You can't.
that information, unfortunately. So you have a great rest.
You're a fascist. I hope you go to hell.
Okay, bye-bye.
Congressman Aderholt, this is Jack.
Hi, Jack. I am calling in regards to Mr. Aderholt's seat on the House Appropriations Committee, specifically his seat as chair of Labor, Health and Human Services, Education and Related Agencies, that subcommittee.
Yes.
I am wondering why he just allowed $1 trillion of our health care that's paid for with our tax dollars to be cut, and then he let tens of thousands of dollars of health and human services budget to go to multi-story propaganda banners of dear leader's face. Does he think that's a better use of our tax dollars? Giant North Korea style banners of dear leader's face after cutting $1 trillion from our health care?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, I haven't spoken with him, but I'm happy to pass your concern.
Yeah, tell him to move to North Korea if he wants to live in a society like that. That's shameful and embarrassing behavior. Tell him to his job as the House Appropriations Health and Human Services chair is to make sure that our money is being used appropriately. And he did the exact opposite. He let $1 trillion of our health care be cut in order to sponsor life-size, way bigger than life-size, multi-story banners of dear leader's face, of Kim Jong-un's face. I don't live in Pyongyang. Neither does he. So tell him to get his shit together and stop being a fascist, please. Have a day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.